Hey everyone, Kevin here, and today with a public service announcement for anyone changing careers, but particularly teachers leaving education, of course. Please only choose one career when you're making your transition. Though this may sound slightly obvious and make sense on the surface, far too many people end up trying far too many things at once and spreading themselves really thin, trying to be a little bit of everything rather than good at one or two things. Teachers in particular already feel overwhelmed more often than not, trying to find their way in the corporate world and are inundated with different paths to choose: instructional design, customer success, project management, sales, recruitment, human resources. I mean, you get the idea. Simply put, there are just a ton of career paths out there, and I have seen quite a few fall into the trap of trying to do all of them rather than determining what they specifically want to do through measured and in depth research of what those professions would entail. For instance, when I was originally transitioning out of teaching, I narrowed down my choices to instructional design and project management specifically, and I did what I am seeing way too many educators do: put all of those choices into the career blurb next to my LinkedIn profile photo. I listed myself as both an ID and PM, even though I barely qualified as either of those at the time. Even after I decided for sure that I wanted to just be an ID, I didn't remove the project manager label from my headline. I reasoned and was told via some dubious advice that it would make me more marketable and knowledgeable to recruiters, when the absolute reverse is what's true. What it actually does is confuse recruiters because they don't know what you really want and makes it seem that you're a bit indecisive about it. Once I dropped the PM label fully and committed to being an ID, plus really powered through to finish my upskilling to be one, I began getting interviews and was able to be more decisive instead during those interviews. You have no idea how many people I see with an alphabet soup of titles and career choices on their LinkedIn. And not only is that hurting their chances of finding a job, but it's also holding them back on a professional level. Try to be good at one thing, not everything. Don't try to be a customer success manager, recruiter, and salesperson. You aren't a teacher anymore. Stop trying to wear every single hat. I know it's a hard habit to break, but that isn't what most companies want. They want you to be good at the one or two things that they're hiring you for, and the only way to get to being really good at that one thing is to commit yourself entirely to that rather than spreading yourself thin between multiple different career choices. This is also true within the career you choose. As a beginning instructional designer, don't try to be incredible with every single authoring tool. That isn't entirely realistic. You don't have the time to commit to doing that. And most importantly, it's expensive to try all of them since they cost a lot of money that you probably don't have. Be good at one or two things and showcase those skills doing that to a future employer, no matter what you decide on doing specifically. So, if you're looking at your LinkedIn and you see a mishmash of multiple different titles in your headline, try to narrow it down to make it clearer. Have a job, something important to you, and something you do that showcases your skills. Here's a picture of my headline, just as a random example, where I say that I am an instructional designer, an e learning developer, podcaster, and a mental health advocate. It's straightforward, to the point, and shows what I specifically do. Back when I first started, I had multiple different titles in there, and it only confused people as to what I actually did or wanted to do moving forward. Narrow down your career transition to choices to one. Become amazing at that one thing and commit to it. If you don't like it further down the road, then you're totally free to change your mind. That's not a problem. But don't try to do it all at once. It won't end well and just doesn't do you any good in the long run. So hopefully that helps narrow your focus and gets you on a better path moving forward if you're running into these problems. As always, if you need any help or would like some clarification or further guidance on this topic, because there's a lot more that can be said here, honestly, please drop me a line. I'm always here to help. See you next time.